Well, countdown mode, the third and final debate is set for this Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, live from the campus of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. And for the first time ever, a Fox News journalist will moderate a general election presidential debate, our own Fox News Sunday anchor, Chris Wallace. Here are the topics that Chris has laid out. Debt and entitlements, number one, the economy, the Supreme Court, immigration, foreign hotspots, and the candidates' fitness to serve as presidents. These are the topics that Chris will go through. Joining me right now is Frank Fahrenkopf. He is the co-chairman of the Commission on Presidential Debates. And Frank, it is good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. From your standpoint, what should we expect Wednesday night?
Well, you know, the focus of the Commission on Presidential Debates has always been to help educate the voters on where the candidates are on the major issues. And as Rudy just explained in your interview prior to my coming on, Chris Wallace has laid out some really critical issues that, as far as I know, really have not been discussed in detail in the prior debates. And I'm talking about, number one, the whole question of the national debt, the whole question of what we do about entitlements, what we do about immigration, what we do about the economy, the Supreme Court, etc. So I'm hopeful that the candidates, you know, with Chris's prodding as the moderator, will really drill down on these issues. As you know, the format here is the same as the first debate. Chris will divide the 90 minutes into 6 15-minute segments. He'll start by asking a question on one of those topics he mentioned. Each candidate will get 2 minutes to respond. And then Chris can drill down, and we hope we get some interplay and discussion between the candidates. So I'm hoping that we're really going to learn a lot more about the candidates' positions on those issues.
And it's really important that he has debt and entitlements in there. This is an issue that we have not been discussing at all as it relates to the economy and the impact of the $20 trillion in debt that this country faces. Let me ask you this, Frank. Who's in the audience? Give us some color on the room that night. How is the audience broken up? What should we expect in terms of the crowds right there live?
Well, I don't have the final count. I think even though this arena is a basketball arena and will hold, you know, 18,000 people, by the time we build the anchor booths for the networks and the Secret Service drapes off areas that they don't want anyone sitting in because of possible danger to the candidates, it'll probably be around 1,100 seats. Now, 1/3 of the tickets will go to Secretary Clinton, 1/3 of the tickets will go to Mr. Trump, and the other 1/3 is split between the commission and the school. Now, the school, as I understand it, is holding sort of a raffle as to which students will be allowed to have seats, although we really involve the student body wherever we go in, you know, being ushers, working, and so we usually involve 1,000 or more students in what we're doing. It's part of the educational function. And so who is in those seats is up to the candidates, who they put in the seats. We hope, as you know, we go out on stage at the beginning and say, please don't clap, please don't cheer, please don't boo. It's been pretty good, although this time, this cycle, we've had a couple of times when there's been applause when there shouldn't be. And I'm sure that Chris will warn the audience of that also.
Yeah, and so how does that sort of play into the dynamic of it, the live audience, and how you divvy up the seats?
Well, that has nothing to do with it. I mean, we don't make that determination. We don't ask, you know, who they're going to have in their seats and where they're going to sit. That's up to them. They have the tickets.
Right.
But historically, we've really had a lot of luck by keeping the audience out of it, because you know what happens when you applaud, you take away time from the candidates and from the moderator. I think the reason we're having problem this time, Maria, is those primary debates that were held for so many months, and people were cheering and yelling, and so it's hard to go back to where we were in past cycles when there really was not that sort of interruption.
Yeah, I was there, and it was difficult when you had 16 people on stage, certainly during the primary. Let me ask you this, Frank, in terms of the polls this morning, we were just talking about them with Rudy Giuliani, and I've got Newt Gingrich coming up to talk more about that. What's your take on that? Does that tell you anything about where we are leading into this debate, which of course is going to be critical?
Well, I think what we're seeing here is a continuation of what we saw in both primaries. The American people have fundamentally, for a couple of years, been very unhappy with most institutions. It's not only with Washington, Congress, the White House, but, you know, with some of the problems. I'm Catholic, I know you are. The problems in the Catholic Church, corporations, banks. So there's an uneasiness, an unhappiness among the American people, and they're looking where they're going to go to make the right decision for the future.
Right. And real quick, Frank, I know that Chris has released the topics. Will anyone see those questions that Chris is going to be asking before this debate?
Absolutely not. The moderators are the sole judge of what they're going to ask. We, the commission, don't see them. The candidates don't see them. The campaigns don't see them. You know, it's in the integrity of Chris, and as it was previously with our moderators. That's one of the hallmarks when we ask someone to be a moderator, that those questions are theirs. It's not Fox News. That even though Chris works for Fox News,
right.
This was a pick of Chris Wallace because of his integrity and his history. And the same was true of the other moderators in this cycle.
Right. This is great. Okay, Frank, we'll be watching an important debate.
Thanks,
we
Maria.
appreciate your time this morning. We'll see you soon, sir. Up